Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or sometime maybe even after Christmas you're watching this. We are just grateful that we get to be part of your Christmas season this year. You know, typically we have an instant Christmas pageant where kids and families get to come to the church, pick a character to play, whether it's an animal, a shepherd, an angel, and be part of the reenacting of Jesus' birth, right? Well, this year is going to be obviously a little bit different. We are not at the church, we're not in person, so I thought it would be pretty fun for you guys to hear a little bit about the family traditions that some of our children's staff do at their house. So sit back, relax, and enjoy getting to know a little bit about what we do in our homes around Christmas time.
Holidays, Miss Amy here. I just want to share some of our family traditions with you. We love to dress up in our fancy Christmas attire. We love going to look at lights. We bake lots and lots of cookies. We read lots of Christmas stories. On Christmas night, we make lasagna for dinner, and we like to have a snowball fight. Lots of fun at our house. Merry Christmas.
My favorite Christmas tradition is singing O Come, Emmanuel every night.
O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel, that mourns in lonely exile here, until the Son of God appear. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel.
My favorite family tradition is reading the best Christmas pageant ever and eating a lot of stuff.
All right, well, David told you my favorite family tradition as well. Ever since I was a little kid, probably close to your age, my family has read the best Christmas pageant ever. It's so good, it's so funny. We normally read the chapter book, but this year I thought I want to share it with you guys, so I found a shorter version. It's not a chapter book, but if you have not read the chapter book, I really recommend it to your family. But this one is just as good. It's just a shorter version. So I thought I would read it to you guys as part of our family tradition this year. So let's begin. The Best Christmas Pageant Ever by Barbara Robinson, illustrated by Laura Cornell. The Herdmans were the worst kids in the history of the world. They lied and stole and played with matches. They were so awful, you could hardly believe they were real. There were 6 of them: Ralph, Imogene, Leroy, Claude, Ollie, and Gladys. They were skinny and stringy-haired and dirty, in all different sizes, with all different black and blue places where they had clonked each other. They lived over a garage, and when they didn't have anything else to do, they would bang the garage door up and down and try and squash each other, or the mailman, or their one-eyed crazy cat. Everybody stayed away from them. Then one day they showed up in Sunday school. They stole all the money out of the collection plate and drew mustaches on everybody in the Bible. And though nobody knew how, they took over our annual Christmas pageant. Our Christmas pageant is always the same: kids in bathrobes and bed sheets, and acting out the story of Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus being born. Everybody knows the story. Everybody but the Herdmans. That didn't stop them from picking out the best parts for themselves. "I'll be Mary," Imogene yelled. "And Ralph, he'll be Joseph." Everyone else was afraid to volunteer. That left 3 herdmen, Leroy, Claude, and Ollie, to be the wise men, and the worst herdman of all to be the angel of the Lord. Me, Gladys hollered. I'll be that. What is it? So then somebody had to read the whole story to them about the star and the shepherds and how there was no room in the inn and how the baby Jesus slept in a manger. The herdmen were shocked. They stuck them in the barn, Imogene yelled, and they tied Jesus up in rags and put him in a feed box? At least we put Gladys in the dresser drawer. I guess they didn't have a bed for Gladys either. Then they heard about the wise men bringing gifts of oil and frankincense. Claude said, "What good is smelly oils? If we're wise men, let's bring pizza." Every year, somebody lent us their baby to be Jesus. Not this year. Nobody would trust a herdman with their baby. So Imogene offered to steal one from the H-E-B. "There's always babies in carts there," she said. Let's forget about the baby," somebody said. "We'll use a doll instead." Every rehearsal was an adventure. Leroy wanted to chase the mean innkeeper out of town, and Claude and Ollie wanted to run off with the baby to keep him safe. Imogene said she wouldn't name him Jesus. She would name him Bill. And she wouldn't let the wise men worship him. "Get away from that baby," she barked. "You might have germs." Oh boy, can you imagine our Christmas pageant looking like this? When Gladys found out the angel of the Lord appeared out of nowhere in the black of night, she was sure it was from Amazing Comics. "Shazam!" she yelled, smacking the kid next to her. Gladys liked to smack things. Our Mary was loud and bossy. The wise men were sneaky, and the angel of the Lord came out from outer space. This was going to be the worst Christmas pageant ever. Some people wanted to cancel the whole thing. The minister said, "I don't think anyone will come to see it." But they were all wrong. Everybody came just to see what the herdmen would do. When the curtain opened, Ralph and Imogene stood in the wings, frozen, as if they weren't sure what to do. They weren't pushing or hitting or being herdmen. The chorus waited and hummed and waited like an old refrigerator. When they finally came in, Imogene had slung the baby Jesus doll over her shoulder. Then she thumped it on its back hard, twice. There was a gasp. It didn't seem right to burp the baby Jesus, but that was the whole point of Jesus, wasn't it? That he was a real person, and he started out as a real baby. His parents were real too, as real as Imogene with her veil all crooked, and Ralph with his hair sticking out as if they had slept in their clothes, out in the barn, just like the real story. Then came Gladys from behind the shepherds, shoving them out of the way and stepping on everybody's feet. "Hey!" she yelled. "Unto you a child is born! He's in the barn." She made it sound like it was the best news in the world. Right behind Gladys came the wise men, but they didn't have the usual frankincense and gold and oil. They didn't have a pizza. Instead, Leroy was carrying something big and heavy. It was a ham from the herdman's food basket. The church gave them one every year. The herdmans had never given anything away except bonks on the head, so you had to be impressed. The herdmans were giving the baby Jesus their Christmas ham. Then the wise men were supposed to leave and go home, but instead they just sat down. Actually, it seemed like the right thing to do. After all, They had come a long way, and you wouldn't expect them just to hand over the ham and leave. It seemed natural to burp a baby who might be fussy and tired, and for someone to tell the people where the baby was so they wouldn't have to wander all over the place. Somehow, every wrong thing the herdmans did seemed right and natural. And then, as everyone sang Silent Night, Imogene started to cry. In the candlelight, her face was all shiny with tears. Awful old Imogene, in her crooked veil, crying as if Christmas had just come over her all at once. When everybody left the church that night, it was cold and clear with crunchy snow underfoot and bright, bright stars in the sky. Everybody said there was something different this time, something special. And though nobody could say exactly what that something was, everyone agreed it was the best Christmas pageant ever.
Merry Christmas. This is Amy, and I wanted to show you some of our favorite Christmas traditions here in the Myhand household. For us, it really all starts with our decorations. I have added to our Christmas decorations every year for like the past 24 years, and so there are at least 24 boxes that have to come down from the attic the weekend before Thanksgiving, and it's my kids' favorite thing to do. But everybody likes the finished product. So let me show you around some of our favorite family decorations in our house. I have a Santa collection, and there's about 30 Santas spread all over my house that I've been collecting for about 25 years. And here's some of them that I put together. They're all different. Some are tall and some are small. Some we've gotten on vacation. Some are pretty, some are funny. Here's a funny one of Santa going down a chimney, and you open it up and he's kind of losing his pants. This one is probably my favorite because Santa is just so joyous. He's throwing his hands up and he's so happy. I like that one a lot. And I even have a Christmas tree with all Santa decorations. Let me show you that. Santa Christmas tree. Every ornament on this tree is a Santa or red and white, like Santa's suit. And it goes all the way up to the tippy top. And I'll top it with a Santa hat. Every year I add a new Santa ornament that I buy either on vacation or just one that I think's cool. Here's one my kids like. It's a Lego Santa. And then the one I added for 2020 is Santa wearing a mask. Pretty appropriate, right? And then we have a tree in our kitchen because why not? And it is mostly gingerbread men and like Christmas cookies and kitchen utensils. This is my favorite part of that, and it's our gingerbread. So I kind of like a stuffed animal, little gingerbread man. We just kind of stick him in there, and then we top that one with a chef's hat. So it's kind of fun for our kitchen. And I'll take you over into the playroom. This is probably my favorite tree. This is my kids' tree. It's all about fun, and it has all the ornaments that people have given them over the years or that they've made in school. We have a lot of photo ornaments. I bet you have some of these on your tree. Really cool things that you've made in school, crafty things. We have to have this sign, Dear Santa, I can explain. I think you understand that sentiment. And we top this one off with Rudolph. And I love this one because it's multicolored lights and it's just all about fun. This is one of my favorite decorations because it's from when I was a little kid. When I was a little girl, we had this music box in our house of Santa skating on a pond. And a few years ago, my mom wrapped it up and gave it to me. So now it gets to be in our house and my kids get to wind it up and watch Santa get really dizzy skating around on the little pond. This is another favorite. This is a pillow made out of a sweatshirt that all three of my kids wore when they were about 3 and 4 years old. So for about maybe 6 Christmases in a row, one of my kids wore this fuzzy sweatshirt around Christmas time. And so a couple of years ago, obviously everybody had outgrown it, so I had it sewn and made into a pillow. And I get to keep it forever. And my kids think that's kind of strange, but I think moms out there will understand. So on Christmas Eve, our kids will get to open presents from us, from their parents. And here's a mean thing that I do. I wrap each kid's present in a particular kind of paper, but I don't label them. So all year or all month, they get to wonder which ones are theirs. It's either this paper or this paper or this paper, but they don't know which. And so they can't shake them and try to figure out what's in them. Kind of mean, huh? This is probably my most treasured Christmas decoration because it reminds us all of what we really celebrate at Christmas, which is the birth of Jesus. This is a hand-painted nativity set that my mother-in-law painted for us before our wedding. And it is just gorgeous, I think. We have the livestock and we have the shepherds. We even have a little bitty baby sheep that I always put right beside the manger. Come on, how cute is that? We have Mary and Joseph and Jesus and the beautiful angel. Then we have 3 wise men and a couple of camels. And you might wonder why we only have 2 camels and 3 wise men. And to that, kids, I would just say, if your mom tells you not to play football in the house, there's a reason. There was a very sad accident and a couple of my hand boys that were on the naughty list a few years back. We have a few other nativity sets too that I've collected over the years. We have this cute little one. Not really sure where that came from. And then we have this one that I remember I bought in Costa Rica. I like that one, but our very favorite is our Nativity Advent Calendar. You might have one of these in your house that's similar. There's 24 boxes, and every day in December, one of my kids, whoever wakes up first, adds to the scene. There's magnetic characters, and we build the scene of the very first Christmas all month long. And so today's Christmas Eve. So we will open up the 24th box. There's baby Jesus. Go ahead and put him in the scene. It's been waiting for him. Oh, there we go. All right, it's complete. Christmas Eve with your family. From the Myhan family, we wish you a Merry Christmas.
Guys, I hope you have an awesome Christmas, and I cannot wait to hear about it in Sunday school on January 10th. Merry Christmas!